Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the Urbz for Game Boy Advance, specifically Game Boy Advance, not the DS version. Now this isn't any old kind of crappy port of a GBA game. This game moulded me as a person. EA, they didn't realise the profound effect that creating this game would have on my 10-year-old brain. So I've decided that I want to make a video to talk about this game and just show you why it's amazing and see if it is still a good game, playing it almost 2 decades later. I still quote this game to this day, and my Grandma Hattie impression always fails to amuse my family members. But replaying it as an adult whilst lying in bed, it's so nostalgic. Oh, I have to hide my Game Boy under my pillow, but like the music's still blasting out because it's not a Nintendo DS and it doesn't shut off automatically. I'm just going to go through like the gameplay first of all. Spoiler alert, this is going to have the spoilers to the game in, so please caution before you watch. So basically the game is a sequel to The Sims Busting Out. So in the Urbz we start off as a lowly janitor in Minneapolis, and the ultimate goal is to uncover the antagonist Daddy Big Buck's scheme and stop him. In this game we have goals to complete while simultaneously looking after our Sims' needs, so like just like a regular Sims game, so like going to the toilet, keeping the hunger up and everything. But the first goals of the game are like basic controls of the game, so how to shower and eat, and they get more complicated as the story progresses. One thing leads to another and we're locked in the building, so we have to pick the lock to Lily Gates' office so we can get out of the building. But I guess that was all part of Daddy Big Buck's plan as we land ourselves in jail. So in jail we must befriend a detective and get ourselves back on our feet with a job, which are the mini games, and a place to live. So once we've sorted that home and job situation, we've got to befriend various local people. Various goals include writing a thesis for Maximilian Moore, finishing a song for Cannonball Coleman, and taking Crystal on a girls' night out, and also purchasing a shrunken head for Berkeley Clod. The final task of this chapter is from all-time favourite Grandma Hattie, the local activist, opinionated and most woman of all woman, where we have to make some mates and some money and get 2 promotions. Then we've got access to another area called Sim Quarter. But then the missions get more and more complicated, so we've got to do a secret mission for the detective. So we receive a briefcase from Berkeley Clod, which the detective has got to get it bugged, and then we give it to Giuseppe, which is kind of fun. The next mission is where we have to guard the graveyard for 4 hours, so you've got to kind of go strong for that. But it's a bit annoying because you've got to make sure you've got the correct answer, otherwise you've got to try again tomorrow. The most memorable part of this whole game for me is where we have to cosplay as Old Salty's brother, long lost brother, Pepper Pete, to prevent Old Salty from selling to Daddy Big Bucks. So you've got to buy like the jacket, the beard, the hat, the whole shabam, and it's just fun walking around as a different character. This is where Daddy Big Bucks gets severely pissed off with us. Swings us around, chucks us in the water, and we awaken in a different area, the bayou, I don't know, bayou? Okay, bayou. So we awaken to 2 handsome brothers, Bayou Boo and Crawdad Clem, looking down at you. And it's all a bit weird, this area, because it's like we're in the swamp now and there's weird banjo music playing and it's all just a bit strange. So we've got to prove to them that we're not a vampire. Go talk to an alligator called Lloyd and have a violin battle with the Red Man Devil. wait, the red man, devil went down to Georgia type shit. And it's like the world's most simple rhythm game. We've done all that, we get like a little locket or something we've got to give to them, and we have to convince Clem to show us how to get back to Sim Quarter. So we're walking through the mausoleum, it shows us out, but he disappears behind a grandfather clock, but for some reason like he's helped us, but we just don't know where he's gone, so we just shrug our shoulders and just carry on with our lives and don't even... Little protagonist Pooh shrugs, walks it off. Who cares? So we're back on the mainland now, and you'll never guess what, Daddy Big Bucks has made running against the law. So we land ourselves in jail because running is what we do. Grandma Hattie also be running too. She's in the jail for the entirety of this chapter. God bless her. A woman's work is never done, I guess. Here we have to get her to write a letter and get the most NPC person ever, Gordy Puck, to deliver it to Paradise Island. But then we have to raise our popularity to be able to complete this mission. So we have the reality part of the game. So here we've got to travel to Paradise Island on a hovercraft. I find this one really difficult. I always end up falling asleep on the floor. Guess it's the taking part that counts though, right? Oh yeah, do you remember Bayou Boo? Turns out he turned into a vampire. So we find him in the mausoleum and he's all bloody chained up. So we gotta pick yet another lock. Hopefully it didn't land us in trouble like last time. And feed him some chocky wocky. No. And then he starts to play his fiddle. Okay. And we see Chris Thistle in a beautiful gown, dressed up to the nines, a lesbian icon. We love her. This final mission is triggered by good old Harlan King lingering around like a bad smell. What we've got to do, get ourselves an inventor, some nuclear rods and part with yet more money. We plot the time machine on the top of King Tower. Bish bash bosh. Our protagonist Pooh has saved the day. We have a parade through the streets and a statue of our avatar. So basically, Daddy Big Bucks went back, built a time machine, went back in time, claimed the island. We're going back to say, no you don't, mate. No you don't. So there is an active speedrunning community on here for the Urbz GameBoy Advance edition, and when I was looking at it, the latest run was just completed last month, and the fastest time to complete the game is 1 hour 48. So if you want to have a look, you should check it out. I'll put a link in the description. There's a whole Sims speedrunning community, a really active Discord, so check that out if you're interested in The Sims. Also, I was looking into it further, and there's these like collectible figurines to go with the game. So like, oh my god, imagine if I had those as a kid. Actually, imagine if I had those now. I feel like my life would severely improve with that. So as I said before, the exact same Urbz game, it's available for the Nintendo DS and it kind of utilises the touchscreen. It's got a menu at the bottom, but I've not played that before, so I think there's like additional goals and characters in there. There's also the console version of the Urbz, I mean, I've heard that that's like back in the day that was quite controversial. I probably wasn't allowed it as a child, that's why I had the Game Boy Advance version. Game Boy Advance games are, I mean, they're just so easy, aren't they? I mean, it's for the girlies, isn't it? Like, your brother won't let you on the PlayStation 2. You can just play that in bed, you can play that while you're watching the telly, like, it's for the girlies. Just replaying the game almost 2 decades later after its release, it's still an amazing game with a well-written storyline. It's just one of those classics that you have to go back and revisit. The characters, they just have so much depth. Like, for instance, Giuseppe is from The Sims Busting Out, but he's working for Daddy Big Bucks, but he's actually undercover for the detective, and he's just trying to turn his life around. God loves a trier. And also I find out that Luther, Daddy Big Bucks' son, is supposed to be 16. He's looking a very weathered 16-year-old. And although like parts of the game are really grindy and tedious, like keeping your needs met and also trying to complete the goals and everything, it's frustrating. But it's nothing that Cuppa Kev can't sort out. But it's also cool, like depending on the answers that you give at the start, I can determine what rep group you're in. So there's like the artsies, the nerdies, the richies and the streeties. So I love that they can kind of have a more unique experience of the game. I mean, it's not that much more unique, but I mean, you can put a bit of personality in there. Like, I was always one of the artsies in it. And like most of the characters in the game, they're all part of one of these cliques, so that's kind of cool as well. So the story is like wacky and goofy. Like, I just love it. Like, imagine the antagonist of a game literally being called Daddy Big Bucks. Like, there's just something so silly. But I'm sure like my love of like mini games and rhythm games probably came from playing this game as a kid. Like, I mean, I love WarioWare and things like that, so I mean, if you enjoy mini games, you should probably play on that too. Like I said before at the beginning of this video, I'm not sure if it's an individual experience or a generational one, but I love this game. From playing it as a child and flirting with Dusty Hog and Giuseppe, to playing it now and becoming besties with Grandma Hattie, is still an amazing and weird game. Even the soundtrack, which has probably influenced my taste in music and the design of the environment, and probably the scale of the map. I mean, it's pretty big considering it's just a Game Boy Advance game. All of it just all adds up to just a nice experience. I don't know, it's just kind of the vibes are it. It makes you feel cool. I felt cool playing this game as a kid. I feel cool playing it as an adult as well. And if you're watching this video right now, go bloody download an emulator and play this classic right now. That's kind of all. I don't really know what else to say. I mean, this is my first time kind of making a video like this. But anyway, thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Also, let me know if you played this game as a kid. And are there any kind of other games that you played as a kid that kind of had a profound effect on your life, like this did with my life? Thanks again, good night, and God bless.